Example 3. You deposit $9,000 at 11%. I have a notation here, PA. And what that essentially means is it means per annum. It means for every year. So it's going to be 11% per year. As it turns out, whenever interest is advertised anywhere for anything, it is always advertised as the interest that you have to pay or that you receive per year. In this case, so the interest is given per year and it's compounded quarterly. How much will you have after 8 years? So in here, interest is good for us because we put the money in there paying us interest. So the P is going to be 9,000. A is going to be who knows. The I is going to be 11%. It's compounded quarterly, so we're going to divide it by 4, which is going to be 2.75%. And we have to turn that into a decimal, so we divide by 100. So it's going to be 0.0275. We have over here 8 years, but 4 compounding periods per year. So we're going to have a total of 32 compounding periods. So A is going to be P times 1 plus I to the N. A is going to be 9,000 times 1.0275 to the power of 32. 9,000 times 1.0275 to the power of 32. And that's going to be $21,441.792, which, rounded to the nearest penny, is going to be $21,441.79. Okay. You borrow, so now the interest is bad because we're going to have to pay more money, but it's the same calculation. It's just borrowing or depositing in the bank is just a matter of who's provided the money and who's getting the interest or paying the interest. So you borrow $13,000 at 9% per year, compounded monthly. How much will you owe after 5 years? So our principal is $13,000. We do not know how much we're going to have at the end. The I is going to be, I'm doing this in blue, haven't I? That's going to be 9% over monthly is going to be 12 times a year. So 9 divided by 12 is, people see a decimal and they often think they're done at this point, but that's actually, notice we just did, that's just a percentage still. So what you have to do is you still have to divide by 100. If you get something like this on your calculator, 7.5 times 10 to the minus 3, it means that it's jumping into scientific notation. So maybe you divide it by 100 in your head, or you could, if you know how to work with your calculator, you get to this norm thing. I think it's usually norm 2. But if not, it's not that hard to divide by 100 in your head. For the N, it's going to be 5 years and 12 times a year. So it's going to happen 60 times. So our A is going to be equal to 13,000 times 1.0075 to the power of 60. 5 to the power of 60 times 13,000. And that's going to be 2353.8533, which rounded to the nearest penny is going to, and prettify it a little, it's going to be $20,353.85. So that's how much we're going to owe. If the question comes up, let's say there was a part B which said how much interest did you pay during this time, it would be this minus how much you initially borrowed. And so the interest would be, so if the question said how much interest, you would have paid a total of $7,353.85 in interest, which is a lot to pay just for borrowing money. It's much better to have your own money, as in be rich to begin with. Okay, you borrow $700 at 27% per year, compounded daily. Who would do such a thing? Compounding daily, that's obviously going to drive up the charges. And who would charge 27% interest? The same answer is a credit card. That's roughly the interest they charge. And that is also, they actually do compounded daily because they're not in the business of being friendly. So we borrowed $700. We don't know how much it's going to cost us at the end of the time. The interest is going to be 27%, and we'll say it's 365 days in a year. Obviously, it's not quite that, but we'll go with it, which is going to be 27 divided by 365. It's going to be 0.07397%, which is going to be 0.007397. It's probably good to do a lot of decimals. When I put in the calculator, I'm going to show you, I'm actually going to keep more decimals than that even. Now, how many compounding periods? So this is how much the interest is per day, because that's the interest is compounded daily. However, we're going to be doing this for 45 days. So the n is actually a straight up 45. Now, the way I'm actually going to take this into calculators, I'm going to say that A is 700 times 1 plus 0.27, which is the percentage in decimal, over 365 to the power of 45. You could do it like this, and you'll get roughly the right answer. So 0.27 divided by 365 is that, plus 1 is that, to the power of 45 is that, times 700, and that's going to give us $723.6846, and that's going to be, so if we're going to make it in a pretty way, $723.68. So that means after borrowing it for a bit over a month, on a credit card, you're going to owe a bit over $23 in interest. It's not such a great deal.